21st January 2011, following an announced script, the opposition Socialist Party leader Edi Rama personally led the siege and attack against the building of the Council of Ministers, attempting to seize power by force. The coup d'etat failed due to the resistance of the police and guards. The attack would have followed with the seizing of parliament, television station and key ministries. The second phase of the plot started to outline the day after. In the last months, the Socialist Party leader Edi Rama and his associates have been repeatedly announcing a mass rally in Tirana, increasingly portraying it as a final solution. That decision was taken after two plenary sessions of parliament, end of last month, focusing on the Socialist Party request to establish an inquiry committee on the last general elections of June 2009. The OSCE-ODIHR-led international observers mission reported that the said elections met most OSCE commitments and that there was no evidence of irregular counting or manipulation of results. On January 11, 2011, a videotape aired by the private-owned TV Top channel trying to link the Prime Minister to a conversation occurred on 14 April 2010 between the Deputy Prime Minister Ilir Meta and the then Economy Minister Gjutam Prifti on contracts and concessions bids resulted doctored through a cut and paste operation intending to make believe that the Prime Minister was behind the two deals. In fact, the mentioning of the Prime Minister had nothing to do with the concession and contract, but was related to the appointment of an official following the implementation coalition agreement. This was admitted by Top Channel itself, which days later aired the full video. On January 18th, former Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Economy, Ilir Meta, made public facts that disproved the accusations based on the video conversation with other former Minister of Economy, Gjutam Prifti. According to the facts presented by Mr. Meta, the amount mentioned in the video, €700,000, was the estimated cost of the company due to the non-implementation of a court decision. Despite that, Edi Rama, suspected of being behind the fabrication, his links with the responsible Top Channel journalist Chakuli are well known, kept denying the video tampering while his rhetoric became increasingly incendiary. Following the video publication, Mr. Meta relieved himself of his parliamentary immunity and resigned from all his government posts while denying wrongdoing and asking for a full investigation to clear his name.
Që populli mund ta tejkaloj opozitën. Populli mund të mos e dëgjojë më opozitën. Populli mund të bëjë atë që bën.
A few days later, in his Socialist Party assembly meeting, Edi Rama called for a mass demonstration on January 21st, over which he would have no control, in which the people will be the bigger than the party, and it can go beyond the constitution. In the parliament session on January 17th, Edi Rama's chief whip, Gramoz Ruchi, the last communist time state security minister, stated that the mass demonstration of January 21st would wipe out the government. Several socialist members of parliament engaged in hate speech and even violent attempts against the Prime Minister, approaching the government bench and scuffling with clerks. The SPD head and Edi Rama allies, Kandej Gjinushi, former minister of the late communist dictator Enver Hoxha, declared that we should follow the Tunisian example. Meanwhile, there was abundant information that the Socialist Party was organizing and paying people with criminal records and the other violent, prone persons as a strike unit in the front line of the mass rally.
Do ta largoj populli Saliun ose Saliu do pranoj zgjidhjen e re, zgjidhjen politike. Nuk mund më të kapërcehen si ç'kapërcen të vdekurit në një fushë plot me të vdekur pas një lufte.
Edi Rama, in a TV Line interview in the evening of 20th January, said that the people can do what they want, and tomorrow either we will remove Sali Berisha or Sali Berisha will accept the political solution, as you can go over the dead as one does with the fallen in battle. On the same evening, Prime Minister Sali Berisha, in a TV Line interview, guaranteed the protesters that their right to rally will be fully respected, but called to avoid violent acts which would face the response foreseen by the law.
Por, çdo përpjekje tjetër, për të shtruar protestën në një revolt bllokmerrësh do marrë përgjigjen e merituar.
On Friday, January 21st at 14:15, well-trained and equipped strike units detached from the bulk of the rally besieged the Council of Ministers building and attacked the regular police deployed along the perimeter of the building compound with sticks, then lobbed bricks, stones and Molotov cocktails at them and the building, as well as used firearms. In the meantime, a dozen cars parked outside, including police ones, were set ablaze by them. The Prime Minister and the whole staff were and remained inside the building during the attack. At a certain moment, some from the strike units forced through the police line, rammed the gate and entered the court of the Council of Ministers compound. The Guard of the Republic, the unit in charge of protecting high state officials, main government buildings and visiting dignitaries, fired warning shots using training ammunitions. Socialist members of parliament were on the sides talking to the strike groups, apparently giving instructions. Edi Rama, after ordering the attack start, stayed together with his associates all the time on the fourth floor of the building on the opposite side of the Council of Ministers building, giving instructions to his people on the ground. It is interesting to notice that the bulk of the rally, composed of SOR SP followers, kept 1 kilometer distance from the attack site. TV broadcasting live showed clearly that the strike units were the first to attack the police. After 5 hours of repeated attacks, the attempts to seize the Council of Ministers building and top of the government failed. Edi Rama made a public statement only when there was a confirmation about victims. At the hospital later that night, 3 people were pronounced dead because of firearms wounds. 81 officers of the Guard of the Republic and 27 of the police were wounded. The Prime Minister called the events a failed attempt to seize power by force led by Edi Rama, and that every attempt to violently seize government offices will be resisted with the full force of the law. He asked the General Prosecutor, Ina Rama, to immediately launch a full investigation on the 3 deaths. Edi Rama, appearing on TV, said that the only violence that happened was the one committed by the police. He called the protesters heroes and officers of the National Guard bullies and ignorants.
Ju garantoj, jemi të përgatitur për ta përtakuar fitoren dhe me 13.000.
SP ally Spartak Gjela declared that Albania needs 13,000 more dead, while another ally, Pret Zogaj, stated that Albania needs martyrs. In an unforeseen twist of events, the General Prosecutor, without any preliminary inquiry or interrogation, on Saturday early in the morning issued arrest orders for the head commander and all that unit commanding officers of the Guard of the Republic who were on duty, all of them with no intention whatsoever to abscond. In the meantime, Edi Rama stated he will hold a rally against the scoundrels of the Guard of the Republic. On Monday, the General Prosecutor released a detained suspect from the strike units who led the violent charges against police and was armed with a pistol. It pressed very lenient charges against other violent protesters. The Parliament convened an extraordinary session on Sunday, adopted a resolution that condemned the coup d'etat, supported the government, thanked the police and the Guard of the Republic. It also established an inquiry commission tasked to look into the events and come with findings and recommendations within 3 months. The Prime Minister asked international assistance to investigate the deaths of Friday, January 21st, 2011. After being asked by the international community to postpone an anti-violence meeting by the Democratic Party, Prime Minister Sali Berisha accepted to do so.
The United States welcomes the Prime Minister's decision to cancel the rally. It was statesmanlike, and it was the right thing to do.
In the meantime, Edi Rama announced a mass rally for Friday, 28 January, to commemorate the dead.
I find it extremely regrettable that Mr. Rama has indicated that he intends to proceed with the rally on Friday.